right, everyone, welcome to episode 2 of Behind Gulf Coast Charity Open. My name is Cameron. I'm the executive director of Gulf Coast Events and Promotions. I'm also the event director for the Gulf Coast Charity Open. If you watched episode 0, you might be saying, wow, Cam, you're wearing the same exact clothes. That is because episode 0 was just filmed 5 minutes ago on the other side of my yard. And I'm now filming episode 1 of Behind the Scenes Gulf Coast Charity Open. Like I said, pretty poorly edited, pretty poorly planned, just kind of winging it, just to give you guys some background information as far as how we go about running an event the size of Gulf Coast Charity Open. For those of you that are stumbling across this video that have absolutely no idea who I am, the Gulf Coast Charity Open is one of the largest disc golf events in the world. It is the largest disc golf event in Florida and probably the largest disc golf event in a 1,000-mile circle around the Tampa Bay area. It is a A-tier event hosted every February in the Tampa, St. Pete, Clearwater area. It's hosted on 7 different courses, and every year we usually average somewhere between 375 and 400 players. What's unique about our event is that we spend a lot of time and we put a lot of effort and energy into creating a really great player experience, making sure the players have all the information that they need to have a good time, making sure that the player pack is really fantastic for all the players, making sure that our professional players have got a good amount of added cash, and most importantly, we donate all the proceeds of our event to charity, hence the charity and Gulf Coast Charity Open. This year for 2025, this is the 7th year that we've done it. It's been a fantastic success, and we appreciate all the support from everybody that is watching this video. And again, if you're watching this video and you've never seen my face before, now you know who we are and what we do. So today's video, episode 1 of Behind the Scenes GCCO 2025, I want to go through something that people have been asking us about, which is how do you prepare your tournament directors? You use 7 different courses, everyone's playing simultaneously. How are your tournament directors prepared to run the event? Because obviously I'm only one guy, I can only be at one place. The good thing is that we've created a staff over the last 7 years of probably the most talented tournament directors in the world as far as I'm concerned. You're looking at a combined over 100 years of experience running tournaments in the Central Florida area, and just a wealth of knowledge and talent that we've been able to collect and we've been able to use for our event. As I said in episode 0, we're all volunteers, myself included. Nobody gets paid from any of this stuff. We're all volunteers. So that's why it's so important to make sure that the people that are willing to donate their time are having a good time. And how do they have a good time? It's because they're prepared. If they're prepared, they have everything that they need to go, they're not going to be stressed out. They're going to be having a good time just like the players do. So something that's been asked a lot from us is, what do you give your tournament directors the day of so that way they can be successful? This is what I call a tournament director's resource bag. So in this bag is, in my opinion, everything that a tournament director needs to be successful the day of a tournament. Now, this might vary from course to course and person to person, but in my mind, your tournament directors should have every piece of equipment and every resource available to handle, fix, or resolve anything that might come up the day of the tournament. A lot of people refer to these sometimes as a TD box. Boxes are great. I got nothing against boxes. If you use a box, I'm happy for you. I prefer bags because at the end of the day, time is of the essence in everything that we do. And if you give somebody a box, they can only carry so many boxes. They've only got one back. You give them one backpack, they can carry that plus an additional box that they would have not been able to carry if you gave them everything that they needed in a TD box. I know it sounds weird, but we've been doing this for 7 years. You learn little things over time, just make things a little bit easier on everybody. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go through the contents of this bag. We have 7 courses. Technically we have 6 separate pools, so we have 6 different bags. Each bag has the same exact equipment inside of it. So think of this multiplied by 6. The only difference between the bags is they have a different course name written on the front of them. That's it. It's got the same exact equipment inside. This changes year over year. As we encounter new things that we're not expecting, more stuff goes into the TD bag. And it's really important that if you're creating a tournament or developing a process like that, that you're willing to change and adapt as well, because disc golf, like anything else, is ever evolving, right? So this has kind of been the culmination of 7 years of handling all the weird stuff that happens day of a tournament. Drop zone gets pulled up, paint line gets washed away, Mando sign falls down, all those weird things that inevitably end up happening. Hopefully everything inside this bag will help us handle those situations, and hopefully for you guys, if you're running a tournament, will help you handle those situations as well. So in no particular order, I'm going to go through the contents of this bag, and we're going to talk about everything that's in there. So opening up the back, first thing, shirt hanger, very important part of the TD package. If you got a player that's out of line, you know, you can slap him across the leg with it. No, obviously joking. Again, remember, no second takes on this. This is take one, no script, no editing. We're doing great. It's one of those things that you learn over time that it's really important to have, because if you have a shirt that you're trying to sell to help raise funds, you can have them in a stack on a table. That's great, but it's really nice to be able to hang them up. And hang them up at Tournament Central, whether you've got a 10-foot by 10-foot canopy or you've got a pavilion that the city has provided you. It's really nice to be able to hang up that shirt and show everybody what the full design is going to look like. Pro tip on your hangers is get the ones that have the spinning heads. This is really nice if you're hanging it up in a 10 by 10 canopy and the wind starts to blow. Now this has got some dynamic movement to it, and the wind just doesn't blow it off and toss it on the ground. This is something that we've learned over the last couple of years. It's really valuable to have rotating hangers. You get these on Amazon. A pack of 10 of them is like 20 bucks. Very good investment. Very good, important part of the TD bag. Second thing we got back here, also very important, is a binder that has everything that a TD is going to need as far as insurance, permits, scorecards, or anything that you're going to ask them to put out on the table as far as information goes. You know, a sheet that shows the raffle prizes, etc. It's really important that they have easy access to all of those things. We've been running this event for 7 years. We've never run into any issues where there's a confusion with the permitting process, or we've had to bust out our event insurance. But God forbid if we ever did, all of our TDs have all of that information on them inside this binder. Very important that you have that at the ready, just in case something comes up. All right, let's go down here. Another very important item. Toilet paper. Toilet paper is so important because, you know, people gotta do stuff when they're playing disc golf tournaments, and sometimes the facilities that you're using either don't have toilet paper, or somebody else has decided that the toilet paper best lives with them, as opposed to keeping it at the facility. So every TD bag that we have has one roll of toilet paper in it. Plus, we also have a restock every night after the day is over. So toilet paper, very important. Next, we're going to dump in here. Again, this is not in priority of importance or anything. It's just what I'm finding on top. Can of paint. You know, you paint OB lines on the course. Maybe you do it wrong, or maybe you need to make an adjustment in between rounds. Very important to have this. Or maybe the paint line gets kicked up by players. Send your tournament staff out during lunch. Make sure they refresh those paint lines. Very important to have this. One can go 800 feet. I usually don't get it that far. I usually get it about 500 feet or so. So keep that in mind too. If you're sending people out to a course that has 3 miles of paint, one can might not do it. Maybe give them a couple more cans. Cash bag. Every tournament director gets a cash bag. There's transactions that happen during disc golf tournaments, selling raffle tickets, ace fund, etc., etc. In my opinion, it's not that professional to be standing there holding a lot of cash. Plus, become kind of an easy target. So everybody gets a cash bag. Inside the cash bag, very important. Again, you got to make sure your tournament directors are prepared. Give them change. Go to the bank a couple days before the tournament. Bust out a couple $100 in fives, a couple $100 in singles, and split it out between your tournament directors. It's really important that if somebody comes first thing in the morning and wants to give you $100 and they're only buying something for $50, that you don't have to turn them away, that you can actually break that 100, you can make change, and you can complete that transaction. So each TD bag that we have has $50 in singles, $50 in fives, and that's their starting point, and we've never had any issues with that in the past. It's always been plenty. Also inside is a square reader. If you're a new tournament director, or you run tournaments regularly and you are a cash only business, or you are taking PayPal or Venmo, I highly recommend getting a square reader. The application is really easy to use. I'm not a super smart guy, and I'm able to set up an entire store, and our tournament directors are able to use it. Very easy to connect, very easy to take transactions. We personally don't take PayPal and Venmo. From a tax perspective, it's kind of a nightmare. So we only do cash and card, and Square Reader makes it very easy. Hashtag not a sponsor. Square does not sponsor us. Although Square, if you by chance happen to see this video that's going to get 300 views, sponsor us maybe. And then the last thing that's in here is a battery pack. So we are a fully digital event. So if you walk up to Tournament Central and you see a tournament director on his phone, he's not on Instagram or Facebook. He's actually running the event from his phone. So everything that we do is through shared Google Sheets and through other tools that we have that are digital. And this battery pack ensures that your tournament director can continue to run the event, the entirety of the event, without his battery dying. So that's what's inside the cash bag. Very important. I'm gonna say very important. If we were editing this, we'd probably put like a very important counter somewhere up in this space. But I'm not gonna edit it. I'm gonna take it off the GoPro and I'm gonna upload it to YouTube. So there's that. Next, caution tape. Caution tape is great. There are very specific areas that players shouldn't go in, whether it be, bees nests or public areas that are going to have other park patrons, or more importantly, the backside of Tournament Central. I can't tell you how many times I've been checking in players and I turn around and I've got 6 players standing behind me for some reason. So caution tape, very important. Again, another easy Amazon purchase. You can get a huge roll of 6 for about 25 bucks on Amazon. Great purchase, great thing to have in the TD bag. Duct tape. Duct tape is another really important thing. Again, ding ding on the really important counter. Duct tape's really nice. It fixes everything, right? It literally fixes everything. Same thing here. You can get a sleeve of it off Amazon for super cheap. Always have a full roll of duct tape. That way, if a table cover gets ripped or you need to tape up a ace fund or something like that at Tournament Central, you've got duct tape that you can use for that. Next thing, we use these. This isn't a requirement. This is just something that we do. These are plastic document displays. So you can print out a 8.5 by 11 piece of paper and you slide the piece of paper into this and then you put it out on the table. It's just a really clean look if you're trying to communicate information to your players. So if you're at check-in and you've got like, oh, my raffle prizes are here and my raffle price is here and my QR codes for like the scores and tee times and such are here. It's just a really nice clean look. So every TD bag gets 3 of these and we put 3 documents out there so that way the TDs can communicate that information for the players. So there's that. Headlamp. Very important. Any good event is going to get set up very early in the morning. And if you can't see anything, then you're not really doing much of any good. So every TD bag's got a headlamp, so that way we can get work done in the early hours. Usually we're out there 5:45, 6 o'clock before the sun comes up. Headlamp, very important. Again, I'm super cheap. We're a nonprofit. We don't really spend a lot of money. Amazon, you can get a package of 6 for like 35 bucks. It's great. Air horns, plural. Always provide more than 1 air horn because these things have a bad tendency to not work for some reason. I don't know why. But always provide more than 1 so that way if one goes bad during the event, you've got another one. Even if you're running like a flex start that doesn't have a traditional 2-minute warning and then a start to the event, you really need to have an air horn because if you experience inclement weather, this is a really great way to get everybody's attention and let them know that the round has been suspended or whatever the case may be. So every TD bag's got a couple of these, and then the actual trigger piece is detachable. It just screws in. Bet you can't guess where I got this. Amazon. Amazon is a tournament director's best friend because you're here at home and you're getting everything ready and you go, I need XYZ. You just put in an order and it's at your door the next day. It's great. Hammer. There's a joke about this being for self-defense somewhere out there. That's not what this is for. So there's a lot of things that get installed on the course as far as like string lines go or drop zones or Mando signs. And all those things generally require a hammer to install. And so if you're going to install something out on the course, you want to give people the tools that they need to fix it if it happens to break in the middle of an event. So hammer, again, like $8 a piece on Amazon. Don't go get some fancy, carpenter hammer that's $75. Buy it on Amazon. It's not the prettiest. If you take this to a construction site, you'll probably get made fun of. But running a disc golf tournament is perfectly fine. Like I said, $8. They also sell little tiny ones that are like this big. I've never used them personally, but that's out there as an option too. And again, definitely, in my opinion, a mandatory item, especially if you've got string line out on your course that you use nails to pound into the ground. Definitely need to have a hammer. All right, zip ties. Everyone gets a bag of zip ties. Zip ties are very versatile. Again, something breaks, you can use a zip tie. I mean, even if you have like for some reason, a chain on a basket break, you can use a zip tie to fix that. That's great. Also, if you're hanging banners or flags or anything like that, zip ties are a great addition to any TD resource package. Bungee cords. Again, in the idea of provide a tournament director with everything that they'll need, bungee cords are great. Bungee cords can help you hang banners from Tournament Central. They can help keep things together if you're like carrying player package items. For us, we have custom Mando signs that we made because the Mandos that we use aren't a normal fixture on the course all the time. And those Mando signs are strapped to trees using bungee cords. So in the instance one of those breaks in the middle of a tournament, our tournament directors have that and are available to fix the issue without having a hard stop to the tournament or having to run out to Home Depot. So bungee cords, very nice. Pencils, man, I really wish I didn't have to put this in a TD bag. Y'all, it's 2025. Please use the PDGA Live Scoring app. The fact that this is even in here really hurts my soul. But I got them in there because every time somebody asks for a pencil. So every TD bag gets about 25 pencils. Got those in there, even though I'd like to not have to provide them. In that same lane, markers, Sharpies are always great. Back in the day, if you ran tournaments before 2019, Sharpies were mandatory because you had the board and you had to write scores by hand. For those of you that started playing after COVID, you're probably like, what are you talking about? I just used the app. Back in the day, your scoreboard would be in person and your tournament staff would be frantically trying to sort scores and assign everybody holes using Sharpies and paper as opposed to using the app. It's crazy, I know. But even still now today, Sharpies are great. Again, if player gets a brand new disc and he wants to put it in his bag and he needs to mark it and put his phone number on it, it's a great thing to just have for the players. Rope, again, if you have drop zones, so we have drop zones. All of our drop zones are braided rope with nails and whiskers at either end. So if somebody breaks one of those in the middle of a round, you want to be able to fix that. So I think there's about 6 feet of rope in here. Same thing as if you break a string line somewhere, you want to be able to tie it off and get it back in shape. It's good to have that there. Again, going back to this idea of if you're going to put something out onto the course beforehand, that's an integral piece of what's happening. An OB line, a drop zone, a Mando, a paint line, whatever the case may be, you have to suspect that at some point somebody's going to mess it up. And you don't want to be in the middle of a giant A tier with 375 players and have a broken string line and have 15 people play that hole wrong. You'd much rather hear about it and go, got the rope, I'm going to run out there and fix it real quick. So good to have this rope. What else we got down here? Box cutter. Again, there's a joke in here somewhere about self-defense. That's not what this is for. This is for cutting zip ties, cutting rope, cutting paper, anything that you would need a box cutter for or to cut something with. I find that a box cutter is more versatile than scissors, which is why we don't put a pair of scissors in everybody's TD resource bag. We instead put a box cutter. Again, that's just kind of an experience thing. Scissors can only do so much. A box cutter can do pretty much everything that scissors can do, plus. So everyone gets a nice fancy $1.99 box cutter from Home Depot. What else we got in here? Going back to the string lines and such, if you're gonna put it out on the course, have ways to be able to fix it afterwards. So here's nails and whiskers in case somebody pulls up a string line or in case somebody pulls up a drop zone. Our events, we always have our drop zones marked with that yellow rope plus 2 pink whiskers. So there's 6 whiskers in here. So if somebody manages to rip up 3 different drop zones in a given day, you've got what you need to be able to fix it. And then, I believe, last but not least, and I think most importantly, a real simple first aid kit. Obviously, it'd be nice if you could have like a full defibrillator and everything else out at a disc golf course, but that's probably not reasonable for most people. So a real simple first aid kit is nice because the first aid kit in here, at least the ones that we get, have Band-Aids and gauze and little ice packs and Neosporin and Tylenol and everything that you would need if somebody gets a cut or a bruise or has a headache or whatever the case may be. So you can open this up here. You can see got all sorts of really good stuff in there. It's also nice if you have staff members that are trained in basic first aid, which all of ours are, which is nice. Also, it's nice to have some folks that are CPR certified. But the first aid kit is really nice too, because again, player experience, somebody cuts a finger, they come up and say, hey, do you guys have any Band-Aids? Yeah, we do, here you go. Instead of them coming up, hey, you guys have any Band-Aids, saying no, then they've got to go finish their round, get it all dirty, get infected. Nobody likes that. So that is, I believe, yep, that's it. That's everything that's inside a Gulf Coast Charity Open Tournament Director resource bag. Again, if you're running an event, your resource bag might be different. You might put some more stuff in there, you might not put as much stuff in there. Understandably, like, running disc golf tournaments isn't cheap, right? So for those of you that don't run disc golf tournaments, to stock 6 bags with this stuff every year, it's like $350, $400. So you really have to be wanting to make that investment to make sure your tournament directors are prepared. But I cannot recommend it enough. If your tournament directors are prepared, they have everything that they need, they won't be caught off guard with anything, and they're going to be so much more likely to want to help you out in the future. It's one of the biggest items of feedback that I get from our tournament directors at GCCO is everything runs so smooth, and when things go wrong, I have what I need to fix it myself. And as an event director who's got 6 courses running simultaneously, it's really nice to be able to empower our people to be able to solve the problems that they come across by themselves. So this is what's in our TD bag. Again, in a perfect world where we're going to edit these videos, I'd have a nice fancy checklist all up and down here with all the items, but straight up not going to do that, guys. This is as bare bones as it gets. I'm out here by myself with a GoPro in my backyard, and this is episode 1 of Behind the Scenes Gulf Coast Charity Open version. See you guys episode 2. Like and subscribe, do all the fun stuff to make the Google and YouTube algorithms find this video for everyone else. And if you're finding us for the first time, follow us on Instagram or Facebook at Gulf Coast Charity Open, all one word. And we'll see you guys out there on the course. Take it easy.